Thanks for that, Mike. We have one more present left under the tree. And well, I'm sure listeners have probably guessed who it might be by now. But we couldn't keep him away from the podcast for the whole season. So last but definitely not least, maybe not from a roadside restaurant in Bangkok, but somewhere, it's Ryan Walters.
Greetings from a very balmy Bangkok, where I have but one wish this K-League missed, and it is to redo the playoffs, because as anybody knows, I'm a big fan of playoffs, but the way that they are now is very, very broken. It favors the K-League 1 teams way too much. A two-leg system is boring, nobody wants it. My proposed solution, if you finish 11th or 12th, you're done, you're out of K-League 1, sorry, too bad. And then you have a final weekend in a neutral ground where we have the playoff champion from K-League 2 awarded a spot in K-League 1. So the 3 teams that'll be in that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, that will finish up at a neutral ground on a Saturday where we can reward some of these stadiums, these football-specific stadiums like Daegu, which would be a great spot for it. Incheon would be a great spot for it. Or it's a really nice way to get some of the venues that aren't used very often. I'm looking at you, Youngin, and get fans to these stadiums, get people in, make it a festivity, make it an event. You have something on Friday night to get people ready to go. Some players are there, it's super exciting, it's fun. And then on Saturday, you have the playoff final, and on Sunday, you end the year, you end the calendar year, and yes, the calendar year, don't mess with the calendar, K-League, I love you for not doing it. You end the year with the FA Cup, you end with 2 trophies, you win a trophy for getting into K-League 1, why not? Hand out some silverware, and then you end everything with the FA Cup on that Sunday. It is a fun way to end the weekend. Fans can go and have an entire 3-day event. They can enjoy themselves, and that is how you sign off the year for K-League, not this Wednesday night nonsense. Leave it be. All right, bye.
Looks cold out there in Bangkok. Can't believe
Bangkok.
No, that's Ryan Walters there coming in with some banging a drum. He's banged for a long time, but
balmy or balmy with those ideas. Am I right?
Well, who's on Grinch duty for this one? I've actually got Andrew down for this one. But unless Paul's also going in on this one, I
want to say something, because I was against this format originally, but now I'm a little bit torn. The playoff excitement in the last 2 seasons has been really good because there's been a big team involved in them for the last 2 seasons, obviously Suwon Blue Wings, right? But if they keep it this way, they at least need to put the games on different days. Why on earth were both games on at the same time, on the same day? It's ridiculous. I understand last year because of the World Cup, and they had to get things done before the World Cup, right? I understand that. But this year, why were the 2 games on Wednesday and then, was it Sunday? I forgot.
Yeah, it's to stop, obviously, like you have on the final day of the season, they'll play at the same time to stop each other interfering. It's just in case, like Suwon decide, we're going to stay up. Oh no, but Gangwon, we want to play Gangwon next season, so and Gangwon have gone down, so let's both go down.
We want that Galaby on the away trip, so we need to sort of make sure that we go down as well. Yeah, I do not get it at all. So if this is how they want to do it, if this is how they want to proceed with this format, with the games on at the same time, and they couldn't even sell the rights, the broadcast rights to different countries to put it on. It's like, what? It was the best part of the season. The title race was boring. It's done. ACL was a bit, a little bit of danger because John Book didn't quite, they finished 4th. The real excitement was in the bottom end of the table for most of that last half of the season, really, especially the last sort of 6 rounds. And they only managed to sort of sell 2 games in Final B. And also, they had 1 leg each of the playoffs. So they had 1 leg of 1 game on with English commentary, and then the second leg of the other. I mean, a right mess of it. So if this is how they want to do it, I agree with Ryan. Scrap it.
Yeah. I will. Before I let Andrew loose on it, I'm going to actually say I kind of actually like quite a lot of the idea there. I do think I'd like 2 to go down. I do actually like the drama of a promotion relegation playoff, but I would prefer it 1 leg, and I would prefer that to be in a neutral ground. And not Yongin. He lost me at the word Yongin. When he said Yongin, I that zoned out there. I thought that monorail to Everland.
But also a trophy for the winner if it's the K League 2 team. Definitely need to have a trophy. Definitely.
Yeah, well, Dejon needs something in their silverware cabinet, I'm sure.
He's only got one in there. Two,
I
actually.
love that Busan just keep missing out on the same trophy every year. Really rub it in. Anyway, Andrew, tell us why this is wrong.
I got lost because the first time I heard about this, I thought you were originally talking about 3 up and 3 down.
Mm-hmm.
When I first read your message, I'm like, that is the wildest thing I've ever. Imagine 3 teams going down in a 12-team league automatically. You start of February, you know that 25% of you are gone by the end of the year. 2+1 is fair. However, I get it. I get it. And I get the feeling that if it was that way, if it was 2 down automatically and 1 was going down to the playoff, we probably wouldn't be having a conversation to say, let's put 1 down and have 2 go into a playoff. We'd probably just be content with the way it is. It would make more sense. But again, I just got to say, like, from this season anyway, I love the end of this season. And I don't mind the 2-legger playoff. Ryan mentioned there make it a festivity. The problem is that the games were poorly attended, except for the Gangwon FC home game against Gimpo. There were only 4,000 people in Busan on a Wednesday night, and there were only 6,000 people in Suwon. So if you have Suwon FC versus Busan in Daegu on a Saturday in a winner takes all, I don't think you're going to make it a festivity. I don't think a lot of people are going to travel to that game. Definitely from Suwon. I think the fact that they got 6,000 added is actually quite a miracle. It looked like there was going to be nobody added. I was looking at ticket sales during the week. I loved the 2-legged final. I know it's rare, it's a little bit unique, but I thought it made it really exciting. And to see Suwon beaten and then knowing that they had to go and win at home to stay up, I thought that was great. But I do agree with what Paul said though. Like, it is just so ridiculous but both games are on the same day at the same time. And I'm absolutely sure, and we were looking at this, I think it was when Paul and I were at the Suwon doubleheader in early November or late October. I'm 100% sure they said that the playoff second legs were going to be on at 2 and 4 on the Saturday, because we were looking at the possibility if both Suwon teams had home finals, that we could make both games, or like one person go to one. You know what I mean? I just missed the start of the other game. I can't verify it now, but I get the feeling they may have changed that. But it's that part of it's crazy. But I think 3 down and 3 up would be ridiculous. Obviously, I think 2 down and 1 in a playoff. I could work with that. Okay, let's just go with that. But if we're going to fix something first, we got to fix the K League 2 playoff system. There's no way you should be able to advance in a one-legged game by drawing at home. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, fully agree with that. It's awful, absolutely awful. And my team went through in 2021. They drew 0-0 with the Dragons and went through, and I still disagree with it. It's terrible. You've got to get rid of that. The home team, being the home team, that is the advantage.
Yeah,
you're at home.
The only thing I'd add, I don't like the second leg, but if you are going to go for a second leg final, I think both games should be on a Saturday. I think both teams should be allowed to have the closest they can get to full attendances. So I don't. You have a game on a Wednesday night. I think it automatically puts the K League 2 team on the back foot. You still get teams coming out, fans coming out on a Wednesday night, but I think you put it on a Saturday. Let both clubs get as much as they can out of it. But I still prefer a single leg final. I'd prefer it in a stadium between the two teams. I'm not a fan of when everybody says that we have it in Seoul. There isn't that go down to Wembley culture in Korea, in my opinion. Yeah. It just has to be a stadium equidistant, ideally a football specific one. But that's my opinion on it. I think
do you think we'll be having the same conversation now? I know you're saying like this is something that's been bubbling for a while, but Busan were 12 minutes away, holding a 3-1 aggregate lead. Do we have the same conversation now if they don't bottle it? Maybe we do. But it's just the fact that they threw away a 3-1 aggregate lead with 12 minutes to go.
For me,
probably shaped the landscape here a bit.
Maybe, but for me, it's more about the sort of K League 2 teams that have been doing really well. They're doing everything right off the pitch, or they've been like Anyang, for example. You know, it's just you just feel like it's the same argument that I make about there should be relegation from K League 2, because if you have more teams able to go up, they're going to grow as clubs if they get into the top flight. So we need more teams to be able to go into the top flight, not fewer. So to me, it's not about this year Busan failed. I'm more gutted about Gimpo failing. Really.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd second that. Actually, Busan. I think as long as the final's exciting, it doesn't matter. I only get annoyed when it's an absolute dross of a final and ends up the K1 team staying up, because of course they do. It's in their favor. I think it's all theoretical. I think from a theoretical perspective, and the games can happen. The games can be amazing and whatever but before the games are even played, it's structured to keep things as they are. And I think that's what annoys me more, because it's like you've given the home team the advantage in all the legs in the playoffs, and then you're giving the K1 team the advantage by having the second leg at home and
on a weekend.
Yeah, so I think that's what annoys me more. I think if it was more spread out, if there was double legs, if there was lots of, there's lots of ways to counter it. I do actually quite like the promotion relegation playoff. Maybe pull it at random. Who gets to go at home first? Who gets to go home at second?
What did you make of his other point about the FA Cup, though? I thought that was an interesting. I don't agree with it, just because there is the outside possibility. Like Jeju made the FA Cup semi-finals, didn't they? There is the outside possibility the team could be in a promotion battle, and the
It could
same
be
again for
Busan
an
who did
FA
it
Cup final.
Busan did it in 2018, didn't it? I guess in those cases you just have to move. It couldn't be done. But
I think the season should end with the playoffs, though. I think the FA Cup should come before that. Like I understand what you're saying, it's a showpiece event, but I just like that the season ends with how K League 1 and K League 2 finish. Where the teams end up the following season, that should be the last day of the season.
Well, I quite like the idea of how it used to be in the FA Cup, where it was all played. Every round was played right at the end of the season. So when Dejun won it in 2001, they finished bottom of the league in K League 1, well, in the K League. And then the FA Cup was played after, and they won the FA Cup. So if you don't have, if the FA Cup is played completely separately in its entirety somewhere else in the season, either at the beginning like the K League Cup used to be, or at the end like the FA Cup was, then you don't have that. Oh, but we can't be arsed with the FA Cup. It's too much of a distraction. We'll play the kids. We don't want to take it seriously. And there's teams that have got nothing to play for in the league. Suddenly they have, we can win a cup here. I don't know. Just put it out there.
I think I get what you're saying, but I'd still keep it as it is. But what I'd like is the actual FA Cup to be on the Saturday, and we'll just move a K League game back to midweek. Make the FA Cup rounds, the rounds on the weekend, because I think that would actually rekindle a bit of interest in it. It's most of the time.
They butchered the FA Cup this season. This is
awful.
This year has just been an absolute mess, to be honest. But it is what it is. And so I guess, speaking of messes, we're going to give Ryan a haphazard Christmas gift here, where we've given many different answers, many different solutions, not necessarily the one he wants, but he might get a couple of changes that
He's in Bangkok. He's fine.
Yeah, he's in Bangkok. He gets the nice weather as well. So there we go. All right. And with that.